Hey everybody, Dr. Howard Cohn here with the BioStacking Summit 3.0. So excited for this time together right now with Master David Wong. Guys, you're in for a treat. His Qi Coil, his Qi Life Centers, transformation systems, all the different things that he is doing right now is really what we call disrupting energy and frequency medicine. Not only are the results that are happening from his technology doing what they're doing, but he is having a background as an entrepreneur and an inventor and having the wisdom of systems from being a master martial artist and Qigong practitioner and so on. He's put these things together and have been able to help people, doctors, physicians, clients, veterinarians of all types use this technology not only in their lives but their practices and throughout the world. And hopefully he'll share with us the amount of work it's gone in to get it to where it is today. So something that looks for some people, and if you're on this BioStacking Summit, it's not so airy-fairy to you, but still the rest of the world, it's hard to talk about what you can't see and what you think you feel. But the results speak for themselves, and that's what we love. And Master Wong, like so many others, has answered the calling and has the passion because he himself has come from health challenges, had to deal with Western medicine, did not get the answers he was looking for, and had to look in the mirror and said, if it is to be, it's up to me. I'm going to have to put myself, to work and really get myself out of the situation. So Master Wong, can you share with us a little bit about your story, how you got here? Because none of this stuff happens overnight.
Yes, thanks, Dr. Cohn. So my story is a self-healing story. I had 10 years of internal bleeding. It was called it's ulcerative colitis, and then they said it was incurable. They officially it's not curable. So I went through all the medications. They gave me all sorts of different pills, and none of them worked. They actually gave me side effects, right? I got skin diseases from it. I tried different naturopathic medicine and herbs, and they didn't really help that much, maybe 20%. But every day I was just bleeding. I had brain fog. I had chronic fatigue. I was depressed. I couldn't do anything because I had no energy, right? I could focus maybe an hour a day. That's as much as I could work. So it came to a point in my life where I just had enough. I was just so frustrated, so tired, and just completely just defeated. And I was, praying and saying, why God? Why did you give me this disease? And why is this, why is my life like this? And then I was, just crying out. And in that silence, I heard a voice tell me, David, you should meditate. And at first I said, wow, where did that come from? And as I meditate, what's that? I thought I knew how to meditate because I was doing some martial arts and, I was raised as a Christian. But then I said, maybe there's something more to this meditation. So I started I had a Sikh friend at that time, and he was training martial arts with me at the time. So I asked him, I said, tell me more about this meditation that you do, because he would go to retreats for like days and just meditate every day, like for 24/7. I don't know how he does it. And so he said, show me some breathing techniques, some chanting techniques, and this meditation. And I started practicing, and I said, wow, this is interesting. And then I went back to some of my roots, which is music, because I play piano, I compose, I sing, play guitar, and all that. And I said, maybe there's something in music too, maybe some. And so I started researching about frequencies and how that can affect your brain waves, brainwave entrainment. And then I kind of, started diving into like technology and magnetic waves. And because I was like, being a martial artist, I always knew that there was Qi energy, but is this Qi energy real? Is it just some kind of fable, some kind of myth, or is it some science behind it? So I started studying. So, okay, well, these people back in Germany, like they were working with these coils and these frequencies, and they were doing all these weird things to people's minds. So maybe I could do something, try that out. It would help me with meditation. So I started experimenting all these things, put all these things together and do one thing. And then at first, just to help me meditate, maybe give me some kind of amazing experience. And what happened was I got that. I said, wow, I got these deep, profound meditative states, like instantly. It wouldn't take hours of meditation. I would get into them within, let's say, 2 minutes or something like that. And I said, wow, this is crazy. And then, but what happened, I kept doing that every day. And then 90 days later, my ulcerative colitis was completely healed.
Wow.
So, yeah. So what all the experts told me, I went to like at least 4 different experts on this, and they say, "Oh, here's the pills. You got to get surgery. You got to do this. You got to do this." And I say, "Wow, I don't want to do this. I mean, like none of this stuff was working." And I almost gave up. I thought I was going to live like that for the rest of my life. And a lot of people do that because they have this disease for so long. They kind of just figured, "Oh, maybe I'll just live the rest of my life like this," right? But I didn't do that. I said, I gotta find a way to fix this. And what happened was, I did, and I guess God answered my prayer in a way that I didn't expect to happen. And maybe that's very common, right? Like you got to do something that you don't expect. You're doing something that you haven't done before if you want different results. So from that point on, I say, wow, maybe this is something I should do in my life. I was completely broke at the time, but I did some business before, and I have, marketing skills and so on. And I said, there's so many people out there suffering. For 10 years, I suffered, and there's probably people out there suffered for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and they're looking for a way. They're hoping for a way. Maybe even if they kind of accepted life as it is, they're still looking and they're still deep inside. They said, there's gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way to get out of this, suckiness of life. And they're looking for something, but they don't have energy. They don't have time. They don't have someone to help them, right? They don't know what to do. So I said, I think this is the answer because it doesn't require your energy. It gives you the energy, right? It puts it inside of you. It's kind of like, I don't know how to say it, but you can talk about the science behind this, but basically your cells are like batteries, right? And they have a charge, it has a millivolts. And if it's below 90 millivolts, then the likelihood of cancer is high. If it's above 90 millivolts, then it's impossible to have cancer. So it's like your cells are batteries, and then pulse electromagnetic fields, PEMF therapy, has been proven to basically increase the cellular charge in the body. And we have, well, how much was like 3 trillion, I think 3 trillion cells in our body. So imagine you can just charge them up just like that, all of them at once. Now, okay, with a technology and with a charger. So your phone you put onto a charger, you don't need wires, and it charges. It's called induction. Okay, you don't need to connect it to anything. Same thing happens with your cells. It can be charged through induction. And so what these coils do is they create an induction field. It's like a magnetic field. It's like a field of energy. It's literally a field of energy. And you just have to be around them. You don't need to touch them. You don't need to hold them. You can have kids running all over the place. You can have animals running everywhere. But as long as they're within the field, they're actually getting charged up, or they're getting the energy, or they can be calmed down even more. It doesn't have to be charged up, right? They can be calmed down. They can be soothed. They can manage pain. They can reduce inflammation. Think about it. That's huge, right? And we can go on and on be how it can transform the way people think too, right? Which we actually with we did a clinical trial with a psychiatrist, okay, with 25 patients, and they have serious problems, okay, not just like depression, okay, serious mental problems, and then we can talk about the results soon. But that's how I got into this. Okay, I self-healed, and I found a way to help many people by creating a technology that is easy to use, simple, and doesn't require training, and anybody can access it.
So we're all leaning forward, we're leaning in, we're excited, we know we see the result, and then we're hearing about these results. Just so we don't leap all the way forward into the exciting, we can just get the journey a little bit. Once you started entering the world of frequency medicine, I would imagine, like, you touched on it a little bit, like, is it real, is it fake? I know it's there, and it's like, but you started to see changes. How did you sift through? I mean, there's a lot of, let's say, noise in the frequency medicine space. There's a lot of devices, things. Some cost a little money, some cost a lot of money. A lot of people don't really measure what's going on there. Some things are really hard to measure other than the anecdotal changes or clinical changes you see in cases. How did you get from sifting through what was out there, realizing that you needed to up the game? You needed to kind of add to what was out there because it was just not enough for you to actually take it on and take it to the world, take it as a business even. And like, give us a little more about that leap to where we are today with not just the Qi Coil, but the Aura system and everything that you have.
Yeah. everything I do goes back to nature.
Okay.
So like you said, there's so many things out there, so many technologies, frequencies, so on. I just go back to nature. What is happening naturally and what is happening already so that I don't have to create it. Okay, so I say, what is the most powerful healing force in nature? And I would say the sun, right? Okay. And then I say, what is the most powerful shape to generate an energy field in nature? And it is the torus. It's a donut. Okay. Think about what we have, our cells, our blood cells, they're all shaped like a torus. Think about the galaxies, all a torus, the sunflower, the coral, the turtle shell, all torus. Our DNA actually spirals in the spiral, right? The energy field from our heart is a torus. So, and then now we have fusion reactors, right? They're becoming very, actual functional now. They create infinite energy, and guess what shape they're in? The tokamak reactor. They're in this shape. Why are they in this shape? There's a reason. So as I was teaching, I got to create a emitter for this energy field. What shape do I create it? Why don't I just imitate nature? Why? How nature creates infinite energy. So hence the Qi Coil shape. So I mentioned the sun. What frequency is the sun? Well, it's between 10 to 20 hertz, right? It actually fluctuates that. So the first frequencies I created was combining that with this. And then I say, well, what's the like one of the main principles in Chinese Qi energy? It's about yin and yang, right? There's two kinds of energy forces in the world. Okay, there's feminine and masculine, yin and yang, and that's what creates balance. So I was experimenting. Well, how can I create yin and yang? Maybe I wind it this way and wind it the other way and see if there's a difference. And get what do you know? There is a difference. Like, you can feel the difference. And later, I say, well, what do you mean you can feel the difference? Well, try it, and you know what I'm talking about. And the more I go into it gets into metaphysics, right?
Yeah.
There's actually, if you put the yin and yang coils together like this, and you make a three-dimensional image of it, two torus, it actually creates the yin yang symbol. There's a graphic, there's an animation. Maybe I'll give it to you. You can put it on this video later. But
Yeah.
Nassim Haramein, he did this. Okay, he put two toroids together, and then he made a 3D and a 3D overlapping them, and it creates a yin yang, two-dimensional yin yang symbol. So now we say, how did those people thousands of years ago come up with this yin yang symbol? Where did they find it from when they didn't have the microscopes or the technology to detect it? And also recently, um, uh, they did a entanglement, quantum entanglement, two photon particles. You may have seen this article in a lab, two photon particles, and then what image did it create? It created also a yin yang symbol. Okay, in the laboratory. They didn't, it was totally unexpected. Okay, so somehow thousands or millennia ago, people knew that this was what's happening behind energy and light, right? This was something that was underlying, beyond what our eyes can see, and it was there. And now with technology, we actually see, well, it is actually there, and they knew this thousands of years ago. So anyway, I combine it, it's all from nature. This is all from nature, right? The sun, the frequencies from the sun, the shapes from nature, and then yin yang, it's also from nature. So everything that I create, it's all based on what's happening naturally in the world. So that's one thing that separates us, is fundamentally we want to get back to, you know, natural healing. But then add technology into there so that it makes it easy for people to access.
So cool. So let me ask you one more thing, because people are excited about it. You share it with them, and there's again a lot of mis and disinformation in this field, where people go, "Oh, isn't that just another this?" and "Oh, this is another that." So that as we say, people are down on what they're not up on, right? So we become skeptical, and some people eventually even become critical if they had an expectation and it wasn't fulfilled, or maybe didn't know what they were doing with some other technology, and they start to throw the baby out with the bathwaters. What do you say to people that are looking at this right now? They've tried other technologies, they've done other things. to have them take another look and go, you know what, this is really something that I should take a look at for my health, for myself, my family, my pet, everybody.
Hmm. I would just say try it. We're the only company out there with a 30-day results guarantee. Okay,
It's
I've looked. There's nobody else doing that. Results guarantee. So we're gonna guarantee you get results, or we give you all your money back. Okay, so that's number one. You have to try it. But if you want to do some research, we've done about 3 different clinical trials already. So you can read all about it. Like the one I just mentioned, we did 25 patients at a psychiatric clinic, and but they had all sorts of other problems too, right? You know, they had cancer, some had skin diseases, some had like diabetes. So there's a whole range of things. You can read all about it. And then we only had 2 kinds of results. It's very interesting. Only 2 kinds of results. We either had immediate results or we had fast results. Okay. Okay.
That's good.
You know, immediate results with fast results. It's pretty. I was surprised. I was shocked. Um, so we had results like as fast as 3 days, and then all of them had results within 30 days. Okay, so and then most of them were in the range about 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, so and this was 25 people in this clinic that use the Qi Coils, and they would use the Qi Coils. They listed all the frequencies they used, and then they would use it, you know, somewhere once a day, somewhere like 3 times a week or something, whatever. But we had results for all of them. So that's pretty powerful. We did another one with 200 people. We surveyed 100 people about, you know, their clinical assessments, like, you know, sleep quality, their pain quality, their depression, awareness, and all that, right? And then we surveyed another 100 people who use our coils or frequencies, and you can see a huge difference in the measurements. Okay, so that's qualitative assessments. We did another one with the blood microscopy. Okay, so I think Dr. Dr. Brewer, he's one of the top blood microscopists in America, and he did use Qi Coils, and then he's using it for all clients now that come into his office. You can see clearly all the blood clumped together, right, before, and then after about 15 minutes, all the blood's flowing freely. So you see that quite often with the coils. So you can read all that on the site. So yeah, now we, like before, when I started like 7 years ago, I didn't have all this. So it's, you have to convince people. It's like just try it, and then people were just skeptical. But now we have all the science behind it, and all the you know, clinical data and all the testimonials. So yeah.
So exciting. So let me ask you again along this line. One thing I like is that your technology is relatively simple, and as we know with technology, a confused mind does nothing.
Mhm.
So and that's been a thing for a lot of people. They bought some technology and they don't know how to use it. Can you give us a little example of how simple it is to use a Qi coil?
Yeah, super simple. So Qi Coil systems, the professional ones, they come with a tablet, right? And they usually come with 2 or more coils. So the tablet, you connect it with a cable. My cables are organized, so they don't stretch out this far right now. But basically, you connect, you know, the cable to a little kit that connects to the coil. Let me do that now, actually. And then what you do is you just select the frequency. So for example, you get these 8 frequencies that come for free. And these are free for everybody. So you can actually download some or go to the website and get these free. So for example, there'd be like calming, opening, remove negative energy, luck boost, sleep, soothe, recharge, regenerate. So these are like the all-purpose frequencies that everybody can use. Okay, so you would play one of the frequencies, and if you just play it on the tablet, then you'll hear the sound, right? That's the sound of one of them. Now, when you plug in the Qi coils, what happens is it now converts the sound into magnetic energy. So I plug it in now over here, and I'll play a frequency, but it'll be silent because now you plugged it in, right? So let me play frequency here, and then so I'm going to connect, let's say, the coil, and then connect the coil to this, and then I turn it on. So now this is a magnet inside a jar.
Yep.
And then let's look what happens when I put the magnet on top of the coil. Just gotta get in focus, but you can see it jiggle
Yeah, I can see
and
it.
move around. So you can actually visually see the effects of the energy field. So it's not invisible anymore. You can actually see it. It's actually moving that magnet. So the energy right now is coming out of the coil, and this one particular has 11 feet. So it can cover my whole office here. Okay. And as long as somebody's in my office, they're going to get the energy. That's how it works. Now we have this bigger ones here called the Qi Coil Aura, and they come in multiples of 1, 2, 4, or 8. And the more you have, the larger space you can cover. So, for example, we have these in schools with a learning disability schools or classrooms, and they would have one of this, and it cover about the whole classroom there. So we actually did another program where we put this in the classroom of 40 kids. They all had learning disability. They had dyslexia, they had ADHD, they had autism. They scored the lowest, absolutely lowest in the whole country in their math score. What we did is in 4 months, we used the frequencies every day. We had social emotional learning, and they went from having 9 seconds of attention span to 15 minutes sitting in meditation, which is unheard of. These are the worst kids. Worst, not the worst. I mean the lowest performing. They're great kids, right? They're the lowest performing. And guess what happened? Also, we have a special way of teaching math, right? So once we calm the kids down, once we opening up their ability to learn, they actually learn very quickly. So now we teach them a way to do math, and within 4 months, their math scores were higher than the average per kid in school. So we took the lowest performing kids and turned them into higher performing kids in 4 months.
Where did this happen? Where did you do this? This is amazing.
This is in Texas.
Wow.
Josie Galizia, he is one of the world's leading educators for kids with learning disability. So he's been using our technology for about 5 years now in all his classrooms, and we're getting amazing results with that.
I mean, it sounds like it should be in every school in the world.
It should, yeah.
That's great. So, and they can on your website, and it's robust. They can get all this information if they want to share it with others and they want to deep dive and learn more, which leads me into the next thing I wanted to ask you, which is where do they go from here? They've watched this, they've seen you, they saw certain clips throughout the BioStacking Summit about Master Wong, about this technology. They've seen countless testimonials that we've been showing them about this technology, both the Qi Coil and the Aura system. Where do they get started? What's the trajectory for how do I take the Qi path, if you will?
Right. So if you're listening to this and you have a business in health and wellness, we want to work with you. We want to partner with you. We want to enhance whatever you're doing. Okay. So you could be a chiropractor, you could be a psychiatrist, you could be a hypnotist, you could be massage therapist, whatever, right? We can add our technology to your practice, and it will basically multiply whatever you're doing, because it can, you don't need to physically touch it, right? You can have it in your waiting room, and people would get a pre-treatment before they even get the real treatment. We have them in veterinarian clinics for fear-free clinics, right? You know how dogs and animals and humans get lots of anxiety before they go in, right? So this will calm people down.
Every dentist office, I think, should have.
Dentist offices. Actually, a lot of dentists use this because we have frequencies for teeth, and pain in the teeth, right? So, and a lot of the pain medications that doesn't work, right? So that help. That's very helpful. So we want to work with you. We have something called Qi Life Center. So if you go to qilifecenters.com, you learn about our Qi Life Center license. And so what we created is we created the whole business system for you. Okay, so we've created a way for you to earn money, not just from having people come in to use the coils, like the larger coils. What we've done is we can help people set up healing rooms, so energy healing rooms, and people can just come in, choose the frequency they want. You can come in ones and twos or groups, and they can just use the system and just sit there. And it requires very minimum staff because all they're doing is just turning it on. Also, we've created ways for people to rent out Qi coils if they wanted to their clients, right? Which in turn turn into sales, which you will also make commissions on. We also have the marketing done for you. We have all the marketing campaigns done, so you don't have to do any of it. All we have to do is just target your local area to get people to clinic. We've done all that for you. So it's a complete business package, which includes the technology, includes the all the booking systems if you need it from us. So it's like a turnkey business system that we've created called Qi Life Center. We already have about 20 centers that are getting set up. So we'll love to work with you. If it's something that you want to explore, definitely something that you should take a look at.
So awesome. I mean, it's really great. It's, it's one thing to create it. It's another thing to actually make it so that people can get it in their hands. And if someone's watching right now and they're a mom and they're thinking about their kid, or there's, their dog is limping, or their husband is doing whatever he's doing, or it's somebody who's an athlete. I know you've done a lot of things, and there's a lot of programs for different things, for even not just fixing the broken, but even increasing, enhancing human performance.
Mhm.
Where do they get started? What do they do? And
Yeah,
where-
just go to qilifestore.com. Check it out. We have free consultations. You just click the consultation link. We have lots of experts that can help you and guide you to choose the frequencies, choose a system that's best for you. And yeah, like even if you're not hurting or you're not like suffering from anything, it is something I use every day. I train an hour and a half every day, boxing and competitively, and I'm 44, right? And so I keep in pretty good shape, and I use it for every aspect of my life. So if you're something you want to increase your focus or your productivity or your energy, right? Just most importantly, it's just energy, right? With more energy, you can do more things. So this is definitely something you should, take a serious look at.
Well, nobody believes you're 44, so they sold it right there. So let me ask you one thing, and I'll have you leave it with this. It's a lot of work, as we know, and we can definitely see that it's a passion project for you. And there's so many amazing stories that have come from this technology, really, which was birthed with your own 10 years of personal suffering, as you gratefully shared with us. Um, what's one story that might come to mind that you can share with us about somebody who may have been skeptical, they didn't know, but you said, just try it. And they tried it and they saw these next level kind of results. I know there are thousands of stories, but what's one that you can share with us that reminded you that, you were not just on the right path, not just creating a great business for people, but you were answering a calling that was there for you?
Well, it's usually our parents, right? Our parents don't really believe what we do sometimes. So it's like, oh yeah, he's just gonna do some weird thing. He's gonna forget about it in a month or so, right? So no, so and big one is my mom. I think like how parents are, especially Asian parents, right? They have high expectations, and they usually not the most positive about what about what you're doing, but my mom had some knee conditions, and then I said, "Hey, mom, just try this." I was like, "Ah, it's not gonna work, whatever." Right? It's like, "Okay, fine, I'll try it out." So I tried it on, and the next day it's like, maybe something's working." And then next day she's like, "Oh, hey, can you come over and show me how to use more of these frequencies?" So now she's using it every day, right? And then when
Uh,
when it doesn't work, she's like she couldn't figure something out. She's like, "Oh, I need you to come over and help me," because she can't live without it anymore, right? So so
hey,
and you see this happening a lot. People just like once they start using it and getting the result, they're like they can't live without it anymore. They just have to have it every day.
that's so awesome. Well, if you could pass the mom test, you could probably pass any test.
Yeah.
So, well, we're super excited. Everyone who's listening and watching is super excited to, one of two things. Either get the technology or actually deeper dive into the technology because maybe they've had it, they've seen you before, they bought it, but they haven't been using it or haven't checked out different frequencies and things like that. So we're super excited to share this with everybody. I'm excited about the results that are going to keep coming in. We're super excited at the Cohn Health Institute to have your technology here and share it with others. And we're looking forward as well here to take that to the next level. You've given me a lot of great ideas just in the short time that we've had together today to use it with other therapies that we're using and other practitioners, because as you know, we got a lot going on here as well. So we appreciate you. We appreciate your tireless effort. And like they say, there's no better feeling you ever have than someone else's life being made better because you get to have an influence on it. And you're doing it in many ways, my friend. So Godspeed.